Hi, I'm April Havlin. I'm the International Director of House of Hope. I'm here at House of Hope in Managua, Nicaragua. I'm here with Scarleth, and we are so glad that you've come to our cooking show today. We're going to be learning from Scarleth how to make a typical Nicaraguan dish, and it's Valencian rice. And so she's going to show us the ingredients and how to prepare them. And with that, we'll be able to then see how she cooks them.
Hola, mi nombre es Scarleth. Estoy muy contenta porque vinieron a ver de la cocina que vamos a preparar una comida que se llama arroz de la Valenciana.
Hi, my name is Scarleth, and I'm so happy that you're here today with us because we're going to be cooking Valencian rice.
Primeramente vamos a tomar el pollo.
First, we're going to take the chicken.
Lo vamos a echar en la pana para lavarlo.
We're going to wash the chicken.
Después que lo vamos a lavar,
After the chicken is washed,
lo vamos a agregar a la porra
we're going to put it in the pot
para cocerlo.
to cook it.
Ahora vamos a picar las verduras en trocitos.
Now we're going to be chopping the carrots into small cubes.
Le vamos a agregar zanahoria,
We're going to have
chiltón,
carrots,
chiltoma,
green peppers,
cebolla,
onions,
tomate
tomatoes,
y apio.
and celery. So we're going to be chopping all of the vegetables in little chunks.
¿Están allá?
¡Qué natural!
Cocer el pollo. La gallina. Y esperar que cuece. Aquí estamos cociendo el pollo
So now we place the chicken onto boil
con ajo.
with some cloves of garlic.
Ahora vamos a esperar que se cocine
We're going to wait until the chicken is done,
para después desmenuzar.
and then we're going to shred it into small pieces.
Aquí estamos cortando lo que es las salchichas,
So here we are slicing the hot dogs into round pieces,
mortadela
and then we have the lunch
y
meat,
vamos a cortar también salchichón.
and we're going to slice one sausage.
Todo esto en trocitos
All of these we're slicing into round slices.
para tenerlo listo
We're going to have it ready
cuando se lo agreguemos al arroz.
when it's time to add it to the rice.
Ay, te está tomando la pantalla ya. Tenemos ya todas las cosas picadas, la cebolla,
Now we have everything chopped up. We have the onions are sliced fine,
tomate,
the tomato.
apio,
We have celery, the stalks along with the leaves of celery.
chiltoma,
We have green pepper,
zanahoria
carrots.
y salchichas
We have hot
y
dogs,
mortadela.
lunch meat, and sausage.
Ahora vamos a proceder a pasarlo por agua caliente, solo la zanahoria.
And so now what we're going to do is just the carrots, we're going to boil them in hot water.
Esto se hace de pasarla por agua caliente
We run the carrots through hot water, boiling water,
para que cuando ya la integremos en el arroz
so that when we mix it together with all the rice,
ya esté blanda
that it will be soft enough
y no quede dura.
and it won't be hard and dry.
Y ellas son mis ayudantas,
And here-
Francis y Alba.
Here are the helpers who did all the chopping, and this is Alba and Francis. Las dos graduadas de Casa Esperanza, these two have graduated, y uno que es residente todavía. Francis is still in the residential program.
Aquí la estamos pasando ya por agua caliente para que se ablande.
So now we're putting the carrots into boil so that they will soften up.
Aquí todavía estamos esperando que esté el pollo, todavía le falta un poco.
So here she's checking the chicken. It's been boiling away. ¿Cuánto tiempo
Le
está?
falta como unos 5 minutos.
In about 5 minutes it'll be ready. ¿Cuánto tiempo está hirviendo el pollo?
Ya lleva como 20 minutos.
Okay, the chicken has been boiling at least 20 minutes, but this to feed the 40 people that we're having for this meal, there are 8 pounds of chicken breast.
Luego, cuando ya esté el pollo suave,
When the chicken is cooked through, it's soft,
sacamos solo las piezas de pollo
we're going to remove just the pieces of chicken,
y el agua del pollo
and then the water from the chicken, the broth,
es la que vamos a utilizar para echarle al arroz.
we're going to use the broth to cook the rice with,
Para que esa agua agarre gusto del arroz y quede con el sabor.
so that the flavor of the broth will give the rice, will be with the rice.
Pelo, Alma.
Estoy viendo aquí.
Aquí estamos lavando ya el arroz, hermano,
So now we are washing the rice
para freírlo.
and we're getting ready to fry it.
Aquí tenemos el aceite con la cebolla sofriendo.
So here we have the oil in the pot. Can you see in the pot? Here we have the oil in the pot and we're frying hot oil and we're frying up
Ahora
the onions. ¿Qué cantidad de cebolla?
echamos 2 cucharadas de cebolla.
Okay, for this amount of rice, which is 5 pounds of rice, we put 2 tablespoons full of onions that were grated, that were
Ahora
chopped fine.
vamos a agregar el arroz.
And now we're putting the rice into the pan.
Procurando que no se vaya agua para que no quede masoso.
No queremos, we don't want it to be have a lot of water so that it won't be lumpy. We don't want lumpy rice. So we want to make sure that it's not too wet. None of the water is, we don't want any of the water to go in.
Para que no se queme la cebolla.
So I'm stirring this pot now so that the onion won't burn, because we don't want the onion to be burned.
Ahora vamos a sofreírlo hasta que esté dorado.
So we're going to stir the rice, frying it until it is golden.
Y después le vamos a agregar la agua que tenemos aquí del pollo.
And then when we finish stirring the rice and it's gold, we're going to put the broth from cooking the chicken into the rice. ¿Cómo sabemos qué cantidad de sal?
Yo le he hecho así, pero puede ser una cucharada.
Okay, so she just did it by sight and feel, but she said you can do a large serving spoonful of salt. She's stirring it so that because it's getting golden on the bottom, but not on the top, and so she's stirring it. Y así es que se prepara el arroz todos los días en Nicaragua.
Sí.
And this is the way that Nicaraguans make rice every day. With onions and oil, they fry the rice before they add the water.
Aquí estoy desmenuzando el pollo
So I'm shredding the chicken by hand
para revolverlo con la demás verdura que tenemos.
because later we'll be adding this chicken, the shredded chicken, with all of the vegetables that we
Para
prepared.
después revolverlo con el arroz.
And then we'll be adding this chicken to our Valencian rice.
Y se desmenuza bien para que quede bien
It's
desmenuzado para que
important
revolverlo en
to
el arroz.
shred it very well so that it'll be good when it's cooked in with the rice.
Okay. Para
Ahora vamos, ya está sofrito el arroz.
Now the rice is finished cooked. Can you get a close-up of the rice to see how it looks when it's cooked? It's toasted.
Y vamos a proceder a echarle el agua.
And now we're putting the broth
poco a poco
little by little.
para ir viendo.
I'm just going to stir it just so that we can see if we got the right amount. ¿Y cómo mide si es suficiente o no?
Cuando uno le echa el agua,
When you put the water in,
mide en la forma de que no esté muy honda el cucharón.
okay, so the way that she knows she has the right amount, otra vez,
Que
the
no
way that she
esté-
knows she has the right amount of rice broth for the rice is when she puts the spoon in
Entonces-
flat, it's not very, that it's not too far from the surface. The rice is not too far from the surface.
Aquí le falta todavía un poquito más.
I'm going to add a little bit more because it's not quite enough broth. She's just doing it, eyeballing it. Okay. So she's going to see with her spoon how far down the rice is in the broth.
Ya si le echamos el agua de un solo,
If we put all of it in at one time, then we won't know if we've got the right amount.
entonces va a quedar más soso el arroz
And if we do that, then the rice will be lumpy
y no va a dar buenos resultados.
and it won't be a great rice.
Ahora bajamos un poco la llama
So now we're turning the fire down a little bit
para que el arroz no se seque rápido.
so that the rice is not going to dry out very quickly.
Porque si está la llama muy fuerte,
If the flame is very high,
entonces el arroz se va a secar rápido
then the rice will dry out really quickly
y va a quedar duro.
and it'll be hard.
Entonces tenemos que poner llama baja
So we put it on a low flame
y taparlo.
and we put the lid on. Okay, so we got the lid
Ahora
on.
esperar que seque.
Now we're going to wait till the rice. Más o menos cuánto tiempo?
Quizás unos 15 minutos.
About 15 more minutes the rice will need to cook until the water dries out. Okay?
Oh,
Bueno, vamos a proceder a freír todo lo que ya teníamos cortado. Vamos a agregar
So now we're going to
la mantequilla.
fry the things that we have prepared here. So first I'm going to put in the sticks of butter into a hot pan.
Vamos a agregar 2 barras de mantequilla.
So I'm putting 2 sticks of butter for the amount of rice and chicken that we have.
Vamos a echar la cebolla.
So we're going to start with putting the onions in. First we put the onions in the pot.
Chile toma.
Now the green peppers, chopped finely.
Y removemos.
And we're going to stir that up.
Zanahoria.
And we have the blanched carrots. They're just slightly soft.
Vamos a dejar que se incorpore todo, que combinen todos los colores y que se incorpore que se fermente el jugo.
So we're going to wait until the vegetables have changed color and that all the vegetables together, the juices are good and mixed.
Ahora el apio.
So now she's adding the celery together with the celery leaves, not just the stalks but the leaves.
Y removemos nuevamente
And we're going to stir the celery in
para incorporar todo.
so everything gets toasted. now we're adding the shredded chicken.
Vea, me queda muy pequeño.
So my pot is a little bit too small for what we're doing, for all the ingredients, but
Los sabores y colores.
it's important that the fragrance, the flavor, and the colors all get mixed together. Okay, so this is, it's called
Es para darle color.
It's called Flavor and Color. It's going to give the dish a different color. It'll turn it red. And so she's putting 4 packages of that in. So next we're going to be adding mustard. So she's adding mustard. So she's just squirting in aproximadamente qué cantidad.
Esta bolsita.
I'm going to put the whole bag of mustard in there.
Los chorizos.
So now I'm going to add the hot dogs and the lunch meat and the sausage.
Vamos a echar un poquito de jugo para
They're
que
going to put some of the broth from the cooking of the chicken for
y
these,
se cueza bien.
so that these veggies will cook through. And she's going to stir in the lunch meat. And we're going to add the hot dogs and the sausage.
Espérame. Agua nomás con el colador.
So now we have 2 cans of
Esto
veggies.
es maíz con pitipuá y zanahoria picada.
So this is mixed vegetables, and we have 2 cans of that for this amount. You could use a handful of frozen veggies instead of the cans.
Esto sirve como para decorar
This is to help decorate
y
the
que se
dish,
mire con más colores.
and it gives you more colors in your rice, more colorful, the colors of the other vegetables.
Volvemos a remover.
So we're going to stir it again.
Ahora vamos con la natura.
So now we're going with ketchup. She's putting what would be the equivalent of 2 bottles of ketchup for this amount of rice, for 5 pounds of rice and 8 pounds of chicken.
Ya ve cómo se va integrando todo.
Everything is mixing all together now. You can see that now, that everything is mixing together.
Entonces, si nosotros no meneamos,
If we did not chop it up really fine,
puede que queden unas partes más sin color, otras más con colorido.
and if we didn't stir it up really good, then some places would just be all one color.
Y la intención es dejarlo todo parejo.
And we want the whole thing to have the same color. Of course, she's stirring a pot for 40 people to eat, so it's different than just a family, even a big family.
Hay que tener buenos brazos, sí, para menear.
You have to have really strong arms to stir this pot. Okay.
Salsa inglesa.
So now we're adding Worcestershire sauce. She put the whole bottle in there.
Ya está hirviendo ya, mira. Entonces ya todo disuelto aquí, todo lo que ya sofreímos y todo, el pollo, las verduras, el chorizo, la salsa y todo.
Just all of the vegetables together with the meat and the chicken, the lunch meat and hot dogs and chicken is now sauteed, and all of the condiments that we placed in there, and so now we're going to mix it into the rice.
Ahora vamos a disolver esto, lo vamos a pasar al arroz poco a poco para ir
So little by little, she's going to be putting the ingredients into the rice and mixing it in little by little.
Para ir dándole color ya al arroz con todo.
And now the rice is going to take on the color of the other ingredients, the mixture.
Entonces se va haciendo así, poco a poco se va echando.
So we're going to be putting the mixture, the chicken and vegetable and lunch meat mixture into the rice, and we'll be stirring it in a little at a time. Adiós al final. Okay.
Y es uno de los platos típicos de Nicaragua. Gracias a Dios.
This is a typical dish from Nicaragua. Thank you, Lord.
Y gracias, Señor, por proveer hoy este alimento.
Thank you, Lord, for providing this food here
Y
today,
compartir con todas nuestras hermanas aquí en Casa Esperanza.
so that we could share with all of the women here at House of Hope.
Bye.
Adiós.
Gracias, Señor, te damos por aquellas personas, Señor, que proveyeron para hoy. Para que mis hermanas disfruten, Señor, de este riquísimo arroz. Y que tu bendición esté siempre para Casa Esperanza, Señor. Bendecimos a los misioneros que hacen todo posible. Primeramente a nuestro Dios, porque Él es el que provee. Y a los misioneros que siempre están con un corazón para ayudar. Te damos gracias en el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Amén.
A comer.
¿Qué piensas? Buen hecho, chef.
Mirarla, qué mala.